So we're joined with Sarah Huckabee Sanders, who is running for governor for the state of Arkansas. Sarah, welcome to El Dorado again.
It's great to be back. You know, I love South Arkansas. I grew up in Texarkana, went to college in Arkadelphia, also lived in Pine Bluff, and I spent a lot of time in South Arkansas, and it's always good to be back here.
I started looking through all the accolades that you have and your past, and it was just amazing to me when I found out, you know, you were an advisor to Tom Cotton back in 2014, who defeated Mark Pryor, which that itself was an incredible deal because, you know, the Pryor name, he'd been around for such a long time. For Senator John Bozeman, defeating Senator Blanche Lincoln again. I mean, these are fantastic names in the state of Arkansas, and then of course with your dad, and when he ran for president, you were there, kind of steering the committee and everything, and then of course you got to work with President Trump. So you've got quite a background in politics.
Absolutely. You know, I've had tremendous experience, the ability to work with a lot of different people, learn a lot of things along the way, and take different kind of experiences and skill sets from each one of those races and each one of those moments in my life, and really proud of the fact that I helped elect 2 Republican U.S. senators here in the state of Arkansas. Obviously, I'm very biased that I think my dad's the best governor our state has ever had. I think he's probably one of the best governors our country has ever had, but I'm hoping to take that title away from him and take over as best governor of Arkansas. He certainly is hopeful of that as well, and could not have a better resource and mentor and guide as I do in my dad. So very, very thankful for those experiences that have certainly helped prepare me and put me in a good place to be where I am right now.
So do you play the bass or any kind of musical instrument? Because your dad is a great bass player.
He is. I play the radio, and that's about it. I wish I had some other musical talent. Unfortunately, I didn't get that gift.
We don't mind you playing the radio. That's fine. That's beautiful. That's great.
My dad is convinced, though, none of his 3 kids play a musical instrument, and he has 7 grandkids, 3 of which are mine. And he is convinced that at least one, if not many of them, will play some kind of musical instrument. So we get a lot of musical instrument gifts at our house. We've got guitars, pianos, drums. I don't know if he's trying to punish us with all of the noise or if he's really trying to instill a love of music. But so far, I think he's doing a pretty good job at both.
I bet he is. I bet he is. So with the election, you know, just a couple of weeks away, I know you know, from the very beginning, I think that once you got into the race, you know, you've been the forerunner. I mean, everybody has expected Sarah Huckabee Sanders to do well. So, what do you see as the main issues right now? Because, you know, our Arkansans are concerned, obviously, about the cost of living, the cost of medication, taxes. So, as governor, what kind of plans do you have? What do you see as the big issues?
Yeah, I think there are a couple big things that kind of the big umbrella issue is sort of defending our freedom, making sure that people have the ability to make decisions about how they live their life, what kind of health care they get, where their kids go to school, how they run their business. Things like that are certainly top of mind with an out-of-control, overreaching federal government. More than ever, Arkansans want their freedom, and they want the ability to make decisions about themselves. The other thing that we hear a lot is just individual empowerment, and I think some of the best places that we can lean into, that we have a role and a part to play in the governor's office, is one, through education, making sure that every child in the state of Arkansas has access to a quality education that is preparing them for the workforce. Not just that they're checking boxes and going through the system, but that when they come out on the other side, either after high school or a 2-year trade program or an apprenticeship or a 4-year university, they're immediately prepared to go into the workforce. And that has to be our goal. And so I think focusing on that makes a big difference. inflation. Right now, Arkansans are hurting across the board due to the terrible policies that we've seen come out of Washington. So how do we provide better relief? I think one of the best things we can do is continue working on phasing out the state income tax, letting Arkansans keep more of their hard-earned money. The other big thing that I think we have to focus on, and something that frankly our citizens are demanding, is that our communities are safer. Right now, the out-of-control crime and drug epidemic that is ravaging our cities and our communities all across the state is simply unacceptable, and something we have to do a much better job on. That's the message that we've been talking about as I've traveled to all 75 counties, going back now to most of them for the second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth time after a year and a half on the campaign trail. That message is clearly resonating, and I think we're going to see a strong level of support come out and a big win on November 8th.
It has been very difficult, for police departments. I was with El Dorado Police Department for 25 and a half years before I retired, and it's harder now to get officers. I was speaking with the chief of police just last week, and the past few years, there's been such a negative tilt on police when defund the police,
Yeah.
and then they turn around, well, we need more police. Well, you should have known that from the very beginning. And I do have a question. This was a Proposition 4, Amendment 4, whatever it would be, which of course is to legalize recreational use of marijuana. And all I've seen in the advertising is about it'll put more police on the streets, it'll give police raises. But I kept looking through the language, and I didn't get a chance to look at all of it. But I didn't see anything in there where it actually said that goes to the police. Is that something that you would be for with this amendment or proposition?
I'm on record not supporting issue 4. I don't think right now, when we have an out-of-control drug problem with fentanyl and opioids and meth across our state, that adding and giving greater access to something we know is a gateway drug helps us fight that problem. And so I'm not supporting that issue, and hope Arkansans will join me in pushing back against it.
Is there anything that a person can do to help out the campaign at this time?
Absolutely. We are kind of in all hands on deck mode. We want people putting signs in their yards, stickers on their cars, and most importantly, going out and voting. Early voting has already started, and we want to make sure that everyone shows up and sends a clear message about who Arkansas is and what we're about. People can go to my website, sarahforgovernor.com. They can sign up to volunteer, help make sure we get people out, donate, find out where their voting location is, all the information they need to get involved in every aspect of the campaign they should be able to find there.
Just a kind of a side note. So, press secretary for the President of the United States. My goodness. How difficult is it when you're standing up there and they're asking you questions for the 15th, 16th time? How hard was it for you to do that? Or, I realize you had very good answers. You came back with what appeared to be good facts. But how difficult is it to actually do that job?
It's certainly, I hope maybe one of the hardest jobs I'll ever have, but it's also one of the most rewarding. It was an absolute honor and privilege to stand at that podium and be the voice for the president, and frankly to get the opportunity to speak to the world and talk about what was happening here, what we were doing, and the policies that the president was enacting to make America better, make America stronger, make America safer. And those were things that were happening under Donald Trump's administration. And so we had a good story to tell, and I was honored that I had the opportunity to be out there delivering that message.
But it's quite an honor. And like I say, you've got an impressive background. Certainly wish you the best in coming up with the election, just a couple days away, basically. So now I saved this question for last.
Uh-oh, this will be the one that gets me in all kinds of trouble, I can tell.
I can tell the reporters are waiting on this one. What's your favorite kind of sandwich?
Ooh, favorite kind of sandwich.
Yeah.
That's a tough one. It kind of depends on the mood. If I'm going, I'm a mom, and so we make a lot of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches at our house.
That's my favorite.
And so I definitely eat a lot of those, but I also, like if I'm going a little bit more sophisticated, I love a good French dip sandwich, so that's always a nice break from eating the crust off of the sandwiches that my kids are having, which is many
Right.
meals at our house, unfortunately.
Yeah, I love a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Fresh bread and a glass of milk. Even Judd likes that, don't you? Everybody likes that for sure. I just hope that whoever becomes the next governor, I just certainly hope, and all of us in South Arkansas, I just certainly hope that they don't forget that South Arkansas is part of Arkansas. Sometimes it seems like we feel like we're a little left out. But I will admit, in the last couple of years, and ongoing right now, the Highway 167 widening project, 82 is being widened, and there are a lot of things that seem to be moving forward. But I know you certainly want to be a governor for the entire state.
Absolutely, and South Arkansas, as I said when we were kind of kicking off, is a special place for me. This is where I grew up and spent a good bit of my early childhood down in South Arkansas, and certainly want to see this part of the state thrive and succeed. And I think if we put a little work into it, it can continue to be a great place for anybody to grow up and raise a family.
Sarah Huckabee Sanders, we wish you the best.
Thank you so much for having me.